Welcome to Old School Garage, and this episode is gonna be a road test for this lovely MG Midget in, I think, one of them the best colors. So the car in question is this lovely 1978 MG Midget 1500. It is a really tasty motor. As you might know, I have a very soft spot for MGs. I actually racing an MGB and I love these little things, but I never had a chance to drive one of these. So I want to give you a proper road review with my own thoughts on this car, what they like, what they drive like, what's the difference between a Midget and an MGB. So to start with, we see these rubber bumpers on this car, which mean is the later version. That's why it has the 1.5 Triumph engine. That's the big difference between this one and the early one where you got the chrome bumpers. They had the A series engine, the 1.3 liter. So these cars begin life in 1961 with the 950cc engine, and now that was the Mark 1. Now this one is the Mark 4 version, which is the latest of the MG Midgets, hence why we got the Triumph engine in there. Double SUs on the top, as you can see. Quite a small engine, you think, but it's really pokey and nippy. I mean, underneath there, if you look at it, it's a 1978 car. It's still in pretty good nick underneath the hood, as you can see. It's still in lovely nick. It's quite a simple engine bay as well, but it's quite busy. I mean, it's not much room if you go underneath there, because just the lack of size. I mean, this is my chest height, yeah, so the bonnet, it's quite low down when you open it up. Once you do the maintenance on them, you shouldn't need to do anything with them. They pretty much bulletproof engines, really. The nickname was for this car, it's Midget. So the MG Midget is sharing all the mechanical with the Austin Healey Sprite, believe it or not. So the cabin, it is a bit cramped, it's a bit small. We have a bit of a storage area in behind the seats. I mean, they're not leather seats, they're vinyl seats. Actually, it stands the time really well. I mean, if you're thinking about it, this car is made in 1978, so it's coming up to 47-year-old, and everything seems to be just lovely inside. You know, there's no cracks. I'm not sure if it's been refurbished, but lovely MG steering wheel. You know, I love these steering wheels. It's just like, it's so sporty. Ref counter, you just got a basic dial with the daily meter and the mileage. You got the all important temperature and the fuel. So you have just basic switches, few of them, is not cluttered with everything. Just a very simple interior. And if we're coming to the boot, there you go. The boot doesn't have a strut, have the same principle as the bonnets on all MGs. I have the same on my MGB as well. And if you see, it's plenty of boot space. You got a spare wheel in there. And if you're a classic car owner, you know, you sometimes need spare plugs, just in case. Some of the parts shared from other MG platforms as well, just like the backlights. It's very similar to the MGB because it is the same. So there are some shared parts, same as these backlights, the fuel opener. I mean, I'm not keen on the rubber bumper. I'm not sure about you, but drop it down in a comment. But I'm not a rubber bumper person. That's why I ripped mine off from the B, and I put fiberglass one on, just make it like a Sebring look-alike. So I think they looks a little bit better without the rubber bumpers. And another one of those things, if you're not into classic cars, or this is going to be your first time, LED substitute. You have to put these stuff in with your petrol, so you know, because these old cars used to run on leaded fuel, which it's prohibited now. You can't buy leaded fuel. That's why you have to use some additives, otherwise you're burning out your valves. That's why sometimes when you're refurbishing a classic car, they harden the valve seats so it's not burning out. It's the exhaust valves we're talking about. It's not burning out your exhaust valves. So you can do that with this one as well. Quite surprising how small the wheels are in this car. I mean, this is like a 13-inch 145 tire on it. you know, but it's a roadster wheel with a lovely chrome lip goes around it. Looks nice. Nice badges on the bottom as well, you know, in here on your sill. And I know they done this multi-tone on there with the blue and the black. I'm not keen on that. I probably say it would be better if it's all color coded, especially if we're changing the front bumper on it. But these cars is all about the wind in the hair experience, you know, especially in a day like this. It's a lovely weather in the UK at the minute. So jump in a car and have a quick whiz around with it, have a drive and have a feel for it. What is it like? You know, you can win this car for £1 till middle of September 2025. The details is going to be in the description. You don't want to miss this because it's only going to be for £1. Right, let's go for a little drive and road test this little MG Midget. It just starts so easy. First of all, which is a very, very different to my MGB, which is, you might know or might not, but I take it to regularity rallies. So I've done a lot of mileage in my MG. That one has the 1.8 base series engine. This one is the 1500 Triumph engine. So slightly different, but very similar, you know, because it's a lighter car. But first thing I noticed straight away, the pedals. The pedals is so close to each other, you know, the throttle and the brake compared to the MGB. It's unbelievably close. Well, you have to use a small shoes when you're driving one of these cars compared to the B. The B have more room inside, and as I find out as well, it's not very roomy for me. I'm just under 6 foot, so I say the cabin space is a bit tight for me, but it's really comfortable, surprisingly, you know. The steering wheel feels a bit close. Apart from that, it's all good. I mean, it's quite nippy compared to the 1.8 engine I have in mind, which is pretty neck and neck, and I need a full rebuild. This one, it seems pretty nice. It picks up really well, this 1500 engine. And to be fair, this car drives pretty decent. You know, I mean, we're on B roads at the minute, and it's a perfect day for it. It's sunny. Lovely weather, couldn't ask for any more. I always want to try this car out since I've seen this one. I've seen a picture of it and it's blue, and I got a soft spot for blue. And if you know my MGB blue as well, I always thought this really cute car. This is the later version, so this is the rubber bumper one. That's why I have a 1.5 Triumph engine in there. It's a pretty good engine. Many people prefer that compared to the 1.3. It's more nippy. And to be fair, there's not that much wind buffeting in this car, which is I'm quite surprised. I drive later cars that more wind buffeting in there, so it's not bad, you know. And also, if you know, the original MGB Roadster designed by Pininfarina, the indicator, it's on the right hand side. Like modern cars, you have it on the left hand side, but Jap cars have it on the right hand side. So yeah, that's just one of the things, one of the perks. Nice steering wheel in this car, really nice steering wheel. Small British Roadsters, always made for the A and the B roads, just like this little midget. To be honest with you, that was a great experience. I absolutely loved every second of it, and it's not disappoint you if you drive one of these. And to be honest with you, as a thumbnail said as well, affordable classic roadster, British roadster. I think this could be one of your choice, long as you're not over 6 foot tall, because it's gonna be really cramped otherwise if you over 6 foot. But you see Jeremy Clarkson drive one of these cars, so if he can fit in there, you could fit in there as well. It's gonna be really, really tight. But price wise, these cars go anything between 2.5 to about 7 grand, depend the condition you're buying them. You know, if you buy one like this, which is in a really nice nick, you're looking about 4-5 grand ish mark. if you want the fully restored one, it's probably about 7 to 10 grand, and you can get the project ones probably even for less than £1,000 as well, if you're brave enough or you got nothing to do in the winter. But overall, I think it's brilliant because you got all these companies like MG Hive and others where you can get every single bits for them. So you're not going to be struggling for parts, and I think that's why this is one of the best Roadster to start your classic journey, because it's just so inexpensive and you can buy all the parts for it. So, you know, I think it's a great choice, to be honest with you. And once again, it's really a head turner car. It looks lovely. I mean, you can add some alloy wheels to it, which is slightly change it, but I wouldn't touch it. It just looks lovely as it is. So if you enjoyed this episode and you see my other films as well, it's all about classic in this channel, please hit the thumbs up. And if you really like to follow my journey, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Just hit subscribe, press that bell so you get notification when I upload the next barn find, car test, or hopefully another owner's review as well. Thank you so much for watching. Ta-da!